What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy P. Skip. Welcome to the best half hour of your entire Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's time to get into his court. My squad with me, T-Mac.
Hola.
Chili Will.
Gracias, amigos.
Let's do this. We want to continue from last week, but we want to switch over to the Western Conference. Our scripture is Matthew 28:18-20. Jesus came up and said to them, all authority and all power of absolute rule in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations. Help the people to learn of me, believe in me, and obey my words, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe everything that I have commanded you, and lo, I am with you always, remaining with you in perpetuity, regardless of the circumstance, and on every occasion, even until the end of the age. Now, again, we are told to make disciples of all men. And he didn't tell you exactly where. He said everywhere you go. He didn't say just make disciples of those who come into the church or just make disciples of those who are in your house. He said everywhere you are, on your job, on the basketball court, in your house, at the grocery store. Make disciples of all men. And I want to talk today about the Western Conference. And I said that because, again, everywhere you see that successful championship teams, one of the most successful players has gone away, learned how to win, or brought somebody in who helped them learn how to win, and now they're winning championships. On LA's team, AD had to learn how to win from LeBron because LeBron was doing everything he could. Anthony Davis was doing everything he could with the Pelicans, but could not get over those humps. But he got with LeBron, and LeBron is teaching him, discipling him on how to be a champion. Now, the Western Conference standings look really, really, really different from what everybody thought they were going to be at the beginning of the season. At the beginning of the season, it was, once again, just like they said last year, it was going to be a battle between the Lakers and the Clippers. Those were the only two teams coming out of the West. Nobody else mattered. Everybody else was just fighting for third place. But those were just the 1 and 2 or 1 and 8, But what we're seeing right now, with less than 13 games left in the season, the Jazz is number 1. Is leading the Western Conference, then the Suns, then the Clippers, the Nuggets, then the Lakers, the Mavericks, the Trailblazers, then the Grizzlies. And so things are still panning out with the Western Conference. And I said that because the Jazz sitting at number 1, Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell is out right now with a sprained ankle. He's coming back, but, he's injured. 2, the Suns look so good it ain't funny right now. The Suns, I think, is catching everybody by surprise.
Right.
Everybody. And
hey, they winning so much, I went and bought some State Farm insurance.
hey, you trying to be a good neighbor, huh?
Hey, man.
Yeah.
That doggone insurance man they got at point guard is a bad man.
He's a bad man.
Hey, listen, man. Chris Paul has gotten a bad rap, but everywhere he goes, they win.
Yeah,
they do. Because he makes
everywhere he goes, he's made that team better. Everywhere.
Yeah.
He makes players around him better. And he's like a coach on the floor, too. I know you had some other stuff you wanted to say, Pastor, but on the Suns, if I can just kind of dive in real quick. The Suns are very, very good. I mean, continuing from them going 8-0 in the bubble, just missing the playoffs. Monty Williams has done a masterful job in coming in, changing the culture of the squad, getting the players to believe they can win. And low-key, Devin Booker is trying to put his hat in the ring, or his name in the hat, as being, hey, I'm one of the not just best good players in the league, I'm an elite player. And I think Chris Paul is teaching him also, hey man, we need you to be clutch in these spots. the playoff time, this, that, and the other. So the jury is still out on the playoff, how they play in the playoffs. But if Booker can maintain or even step up his game another notch come playoff time, the Suns could go to the Western Conference Finals, because CP3 is already proven with the Clippers and with Houston. And if he has any help, and even with OKC last year, with a team that had a really almost pitiful roster, they were, a playoff squad kind of last year. So CP3 is already shown, like you said, Pastor, he gets the bad rap because he's kind of an ornery kind of guy, getting your face. He's a grown man, so people don't always like that. But as far as being an asset to his team, helping bring out the best in his teammates and putting his team in contention to win, he is kind of a, I won't put him quite as, up there with LeBron, but he in that same kind of family where when you add him, he immediately increases your chances. And that Devin Booker, if he continues to play with a chip on his shoulder, like put some respect on my name, he might erupt for some old school Bernard King type games where he'll drop 50 back to back in the playoffs. So yeah, they are. That's a good call on that Phoenix team. They are super dangerous and they're playing to win. Looks like.
Well, I'm not gonna give them the Western Conference crown until I see Devin Booker in a State Farm commercial.
Gotcha. Touche.
Hey,
Touche.
once I see him in a State Farm commercial, a Gatorade, or selling a Prius or something, because he, like you said, Tim, he's that kind of superstar. He just don't get what he don't get his due because he hasn't performed in the playoff and the whole country haven't seen him. But if he get in this playoff, look like he's gonna get in, and if he do what you and I have seen him do, because we basketball aficionados, if the rest of the country see that, next thing you know, he's gonna be selling Gatorade with Serena Williams. I'm just telling you, that's the kind of player he is.
Hey, look, Devin Booker looked like he playing for a shoe deal.
Yeah,
like he's trying to get his own shoe. And so again, they're dangerous, very dangerous, and they're helping. And that center in the middle ain't no chump either. Athletic, he blocks shots, and he's got some dog about him.
Yeah.
Well, it's Chris Paul. Chris Paul got a way of making players reach their full potential. I don't know what he does, if he hypnotizes them, smoke weed with them or what. But all of a sudden, once you play with Chris Paul, all of a sudden you become an NBA All-Star. What is this about? Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something else that's very interesting about the West. That new play-in format. That new play-in format is gangster. So even though you did the top 7, you still got Dallas, Memphis, San Antonio, and Golden State still able to get into that little play-in tournament. So it's gonna be a dog fight in the West. I'm telling you.
Oh man, yeah. You don't want to be in 7 through 10 spot come into the regular season. You want to have your
really don't.
Spot secured. That play-in is gonna be real out of order.
Hey, and quiet as it's kept, Memphis, they other All-Star just came back a couple of games ago. Jared Jackson Jr., 3J.
Dude, he finally back. He missed all of almost 2 seasons. What was
he left last August? He just checked back in the next game, and guess what? That dude can ball.
He really can.
Yeah,
he really can. If he can stay healthy for the remainder of the season, even going into this play-in for the playoffs, they became a lot more dangerous too.
Oh, Memphis is dangerous.
Only team I see that I feel kind of sorry for is Denver. Denver's sitting at number 4, but with Jamal Murray out, because that dude in that bubble, when him and Donovan Mitchell was going at it, remind me of some of them old warning games. I mean, where Cass was just going bucket for bucket.
That
was one of the best series I had seen. And it has to be at least 5-6 years where 2 players is like, we ain't losing because I'm giving it to who's ever in front of me, and both of them cats was doing it.
And they picked up Gordon too in the trade. Didn't they pick up Gordon?
Right, they sure did.
They picked up Gordon in the trade deadline, And that's a big boost to them, man. So with Murray going out like that, like you said, man, it's unfortunate because man, that doggone the Joker, I'm gonna tell you, second to Kyrie Irving and Steph Curry, the Joker is much CTV.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
I'd rather watch him than Doncic. I'd rather watch Jokic than Doncic. And Doncic is somebody to watch.
Right.
But Jokic just make it look like he's just in the library reading a book and killing these cats.
Hey, the Joker make it look like whose daddy is this beating us like this?
Man.
Because he's shaped like a lunch lady, bro.
Man.
He really is. I'm like, how is this cat? He ain't got no cut. He looks flabby, but he has dropped a bunch of weight from last year.
Yeah.
But the Joker is just like, okay, you're gonna leave me at the 3, splash.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna play me in the post? I'll give it to you there. Oh, my man's cutting. You shouldn't have double teamed me. I'll find you.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
He's unbelievable. TV.
If I had to vote for the MVP right today, the Joker would get my vote.
Wow.
Would he?
Yes.
The Joker's no joke. So you got the Lakers coming in at 5. You know what's funny is nobody has anything to say about the Clippers. Why is that? It's like nobody expects the Clippers. You may be 3, but nobody has no confidence in what the Clippers are going to do.
Yeah. They laid last year's playoff, man. They laid such an egg last year. They you have people that prognosticate may get someplace. Other things are just supposed to be. They were supposed to get to the Western Conference Finals last year, up 3-1 against that dangerous Denver team that we just talked about, and Jamal Murray was doing his thing. But hey, you got no excuse for blowing a 3-1 lead with a Western Conference Finals playoff berth series on the line. You got these 2 all-stars. You got a championship coach. Come on, man. And the reason why nobody is giving them any props right now is that they gave a collective, I ain't even gonna say it, to the whole nation. Even those that weren't necessarily Clippers fans, they were able to give them the respect that, okay, we expect to see you guys because you look like you supposed to be there.
Great on paper.
They fell out like they did, man. It's like, man, I'm not gonna invest that much energy into you hooks no more until you showing through.
Well, Tim, they heard you loud and clear, and you know what they did? They went and got Rajon Rondo.
Or playoff Rajon Rondo.
Hey, when Rajon Rondo step onto the court, Rajon Rondo is 3rd in leaders behind LeBron, Paul, and then Rajon Rondo is the 3rd best general of a team in the NBA. And when they went and got Rajon Rondo, this is what I said. That served notice to all of y'all. We not playing. We not playing. We going for it.
No, that's all facts, Will. I detect no lies there at all. In fact, they were willing to give up sweet Lou Williams to be able to add Rajon Rondo to the squad. And I think that with everything you just talked about, the basketball IQ, the acumen, the leadership, the playoff moxie, if you will, that Rajon brings to the table, it lets jokers know, hey, we're playing for keeps now. Had they had this joker last year, the reversal of fortunes might have happened. The Lakers might not have been hoisting the trophy. It might have been the Clippers. And I think he's trying to bring that same thing to the Clippers. And he has really been a great, great addition for them. And if he can stay healthy from this point moving forward throughout the playoffs, really helps their chances of being a stabilizing force and maybe even getting them to the finals. That's if he can stay healthy. But
and the other thing too about Rajon Rondo, and you guys can agree with me on this, he don't care about Kawhi Leonard. Right. He don't care about Paul George.
Yeah.
He don't care about nobody. He get in your face just like Chris Paul, just like LeBron James, and tell you what floor to get off on, and you better get off on that floor.
Yeah,
that's the kind of guard he is, and that's all they needed, because the reason why they couldn't finish last year, they didn't have a general.
Exactly. And he got some championship hardware as well, so he got receipts too. And that is something that they really, really need. The casualties of the coach being gone, Doc Rivers, as well as, Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell, they had to shake up some stuff, but hopefully, they'll get a fat return on their investment this year with his addition.
And people forget, when you start talking about that long list of great point guards that came out of Kentucky, Rondo was the first one.
Yeah, started the trend.
Yeah.
But for me, Rondo, we know what he gonna give you. Kawhi, we know what he gonna give you. But my question is, are we gonna get playoff Paul or pandemic Paul? Which one we gonna get?
That's cold, Pastor. That's cold.
Pandemic Paul.
That's real though. That's real. That's real.
Pandemic Paul was like, are you kidding me?
Hey,
that guy was 3 words for that guy, Terry Bull. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. So that to me is the biggest factor. Is what is Paul George going to be this playoffs? Which one are we gonna see? That's gonna make the difference.
But the other thing too, like the rest of the NBA world, we doing all this talk about everybody except Utah.
Right.
Utah gets no respect. Nobody predicting Utah to win the West, even though they done led the West from wire to wire. They done went into all of these people's kitchen and took their utensils and took their bowl and their cereal and ate their cereal and crunched their milk and left town. And we still don't believe that the Utah Jazz has what it takes to come out of the West. Why is that?
Because there's a guy named LeBron James in the West with a guy named Adrian, with a guy named Davis on his squad. That's why. Because as long as LeBron is on somebody's team, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt that they're going to be in the finals and win the champion or win the champion. You have to. Let me say this.
I think that's true. Go ahead, Pastor. If you want, you're going to finish your point.
No, go ahead. I'm good.
I think the other thing that Utah has going against them is that they're exciting and coming in, almost out of the blue, similar to the Bucks 2 years ago that did their thing, kind of a finesse team or whatever, and proved to be kind of, lightweights come playoff time. I think Utah was viewed in that same kind of way. I think the other piece to that in terms of, well, hey, you guys are not a threat. You guys are kind of all flash or whatever regular season. Come playoff time, y'all can't go to that next level. The other thing is that they have a LA Clippers of last year juniorness because they too had that same Denver team down 3-1 when Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray were going tit for tat, 45 for 45, 50 for 50 game for game. They lost that too. So I think a lot of confidence people lost in them because come playoff time, you have to have grit and you also have to be able to be super duper clutchy in extreme circumstances and at any given time. And if you can't demonstrate that after having a 3-1 lead, the other team comes back, they win that game. Now it's 3-2. Okay, they stole one from you. Now it's 3-3. You're supposed to be mad that you gave these jokers a chance to tie y'all up. Game 7, y'all getting whooped by 15-20. Because they didn't do that, folks are like, man, y'all, okay, we're going to wait to the playoffs.
You know what, Tim? Okay. You know what? If you didn't say Utah's name, everybody, if somebody just tuned in and started watching you talk, they would think you were talking about the Bucks. Because that's the exact same thing the Bucks did.
Yes. Exactly. And until they can demonstrate that, okay, come playoff time means that if I can, I'll make an analogy to, let's say, a business, meeting. Sometimes you come to a business meeting, you got your PowerPoint, presentation, you all suited and booted, et cetera, et cetera. But if something that comes up that ain't on your notes, can you on your feet still deliver the goods? Right. Can you go ahead and pivot? That's what playoff basketball is. You come in, your high efficiency, your ratios, all the metrics, your on the court percentage, all that kind of stuff is great. You lead the league in this, that, and okay, that don't mean nothing. As Mike Tyson said, everybody is prepared in a boxing match until they get punched in the mouth. What do you do when you get busted in the mouth and you see your own blood? Do you still want to scrap? Or you like, oh, I was just playing, player, why you playing so much? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what
I thought we were
playoff basketball is.
I thought we were slapboxing.
You know, exactly. That's what the playoffs are in the NBA. I'm gonna bust you in the face. What you gonna do then? And Utah and other finesse teams, outside of, I'll even say Golden State of, you know, the last, you know, 5, 6, 7 years were like the only exception to the rule, because until they won it, it wasn't no finesse teams getting to the championship because that punch, they couldn't punch back. Golden State was able to punch jokers back, and they had a joker like Draymond Green on the squad that could, you know, get dirty with you if need be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So grimy. So unless you got some of that, ain't nobody thinking about you unless you demonstrate otherwise. And Utah, I don't think anybody is expecting to demonstrate otherwise, which is why they ain't getting the love thus far.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at just the top 8. And Will looked at it. Will sets up at 6 are the Mavericks. At 7 are the Trailblazers, which to me, I don't understand why they're not getting any love. I understand why they're not higher. That's because of
injuries.
Yeah. But number 8 is the Grizzlies. And I'm going to say this for the Grizzlies, and then we'll go back over the other 2. Ja Morant, till now, to me, has been a better NBA player than Zion.
Dude, just hate Zion. Ooh, go ahead.
Okay, well, let's put it this way. Other than Ja Morant and that Jared Jackson Jr. that you just mentioned, who else do you know on that team?
The guard, the cat from Oregon, the Dylan light-skinned cat with the little mohawk.
Yeah, but you know what, Tim? But his problem is inconsistent. He looked like an NBA All-Star some nights, and other nights he have 8.
Yeah.
He have 6. He have 10. If he would play consistently, they would be a real threat.
Yeah. But I think I think I know where you're going, Patrick Skip.
Right.
That, you know, it seems like, let's say Zion has, you know, better supporting cast. You know what I'm saying? I will give you that, but just because he got a better supporting cast does not mean that if he was on any other team that he wouldn't be giving the league what he's given the league. I think that Zion I think he was the number 1 pick. I don't think it was, you know, a miss pick. Ja Morant is the truth. He put out our hometown Marquette team, you know, from the second round of the NCAA tournament and gave him look like a triple-double, made it look easy, like it was a man amongst boys. So he is the truth, one of the most exciting players. Matter of fact, he probably got the most exciting missed dunks than anybody in the history of the NBA. So he is all of that. I ain't taking nothing away from him. Simultaneous to that, I'm not anti-Zion either. I'm not taking anything away from him either. Zion has been, the expectations have been there. He's been delivering. And even with limited playing time last year, that wasn't his decision. That's the boss. That's the organization. That's the franchise. And we're going to shut you down for the season, man. Sit down somewhere. Okay, the joker that signed my check said sit down. What I'm going to do? I'm going to sit down. You know what I'm saying? Even when he played, though, his stats were still dominant. And I know there was some questions about, well, hey, coming out of college, he just down low. He can't really do that much. He ain't that skilled. The coach, Stan Van Gundy, who's a respectable coach in the NBA, has had some success. Seems like he's a player's coach and players speak well of him. Put him at point guard, meaning that he got some skills. He sees some things in him. And instead of, let's say, Giannis, we want to take the ball out of his hands because we think it'd be more effective. What the coach in Pelicans is saying, hey, we can not only utilize more of your skill sets with you playing the point, you also can help us to be better. He has gaudy stats, man, and he has to share the ball. So he's not one that shoots 37 times a game and be 9 for 37 or 10 for 26. He's high efficient, and he playing with a dude, also a Duke guy, Brandon Ingram. You know what I'm saying? All-star. Yeah. So he got to share the ball and not have no friction or drama in the locker room, which to me speaks to his character as a person in that, hey, man, I ain't got no problem sharing the shine. You getting some shine, don't take away none of mine. I think if you take Zion Williamson, you put him in the Pelicans, you take him to Utah, you take him to the Bucks, you take him to anywhere in the NBA, he going to give you what he got. He's a good player, man.
Don't take
I'm not saying he's not a good player.
Don't take him to Detroit. Please don't take him to Detroit.
I mean, I can't. I mean, John Morant, I ain't taking nothing away from John Morant, but I'm not taking John Morant over Zion either. I'm not. That's just one man's opinion. You got 7 billion people in the world, so it ain't the only opinion that matters. I'm just saying it's mine.
And I love it.
I guess I could come in and break the tie then, huh? I can come in and break the tie.
I know you go with Zion.
You know what? I'm not going with Zion, and I'm not going with Ja Morant. I'm not going with either one of them. This is what I'm saying. Right now, Zion is playing outstanding. He's very efficient. He's doing what his team needs him to do to win. I like the idea that he ain't just drinking the Kool-Aid and start shooting threes like every big man, that he's staying down on the post and he making the shots and he staying within his game. I like that about Zion, and Zion is outstanding. He's great. Ja Morant, same thing. The man is, but the difference between Ja Morant and Zion to me, now I'm not saying the difference is Zion is a better closer than Ja Morant. Even though people might think on the surface, I watched these games. And the last 2 games that Dallas lost, they lost because Ja Morant wasn't Lou Williams. Ja Morant wasn't Kyrie Irving. Ja Morant wasn't Steph Curry. And that's why they lost.
Ja Morant wasn't Zion Williamson.
Like Zion Williams. Once he get to the point where he can close out games like he's supposed to, then at that point, I can say that he in the same breath. That's what I don't like about Chris Middleton. He ain't no closer. Right. He ain't no closer. Dude, learn how to close out a game. So although, and we talking about 2 very young men, they're going to get there. They're going to learn. But right now, Ja Morant ain't half-stepping or Zion Williams ain't half-stepping. They both playing pretty well.
Yeah. Listen, another great show. Thank y'all so much for being a part of it. Tune in next week, same bat time, same bat channel right here. Joy 1340 AM, 98.7 FM. Also, check us out on Facebook and YouTube.